Greetings and welcome to the last Interregnum report of King of Many Nations Crusader Kings 2 campaign. In this report we will, just like last time, go from left to right until we have covered most of the nations in the world. And we'll pay special heed to our played dynasties. The dynasties we have nurtured and made into great dynasties. At least those who are still around. So anyway, in the British Isles we have a peculiar situation. Ireland is formed, England is formed, and Wales is formed. Scotland exists, but is heavily onset by France and Ireland and England. Wales has been bigger, they have controlled stuff down here, but apparently it's all gone. By the way, in this, I will also go through some of the changes I'll make during the conversion. Because unlike Alea Iacta Est, I'll change some stuff to make the world more logical as well. So, in England rules the of Norfolks. So, the of Christians are somewhere else. Let's see here. If we search for Great House, yes. And then Dynasty, try to go down to O. Here we go. I saw the of Karlsteins there. Alright. Well, of Christian, here, they should come here. Somewhere, if they are still around. There they are. Alright, so it seems like there are no landed of Crichtons left. Actually, I lied. The Duke of Somerset, he's a Crichton. He's probably the head of their house as well. Head of dynasty. Yep, Reginald. He does not have a claim on the Kingdom of England anymore, unfortunately. So anyway, I will change the culture of certain countries. For example, England was Dutch, but they ruled an entirely English continent. So I took the liberty of already... This guy here used to be Dutch, but I just made him English for the sake of the conversion. Otherwise, there will be rebels and they won't know where to go, and everything will be chaos. This also mimics the behavior in the EU3 converter made by Rassiot, where the dominant culture was the country's culture, or the nation's culture. Didn't pay heed to the culture of the ruler. It was only the majority culture in the nation itself that mattered. So anyway, in Wales rules the Glastenning dynasty. That's the dynasty we formed Portugal with. That's kind of interesting. They left Portugal because Portugal is ruled by some other dynasty now. They went back here, home to Wales. And Ireland is ruled by an Irish guy named Fitzpatrick, which is the most stereotypical Irish name I can think of. A strong crusader, awesome guy, not very diplomatic though. And the cultural layout looks like this. The French have expanded into Scotland for some reason, and consolidated it quite heavily, spreading French culture. Scotland is ruled by a Scotsman, fortunately. He is Mac Eoin Dwib, or something like that. And the religious layout looks like this. Actually, there's not much to show you in mainland Europe, so I'll just avoid showing the religious screen. Except if we are looking at the rest of the world, the Eastern world and the Middle East. So, if we move on to Scandinavia, we can see that Sweden has appeared. They were gone for the longest of times, but they, let's see here. I think they got liberated from the Holy Roman Empire. The Holy Roman Empire held some provinces here, and they revolted. And I believe they formed Sweden and then took over the rest of Sweden in some weird way. Denmark has controlled most of it for the longest of times. As you can see, it's shifted and everything. And their respective rulers are King Mads of Denmark, here no longer ruled by a Blake, we should take a look and see if we can find the Blakes. The Blakes. Blake. Should be easy to find. There we go. We have some Blakes. They are Germans now. Dynasty tree. The head of the dynasty? Yeah, Werner here. So, the Blakes migrated over to Bavaria during the Great Inheritance. And now, the of Walbecks rule in Denmark. Hopefully they are more competent at their job. The Swedes are ruled by of Krans, a little girl. And the Norwegians are ruled by Audgi. That's really Norse, that name. And the cultural mock-up looks like this. Mainly Danish. Swedish in pockets here, but some heavy Danish presence. And the Finns have replaced the Lapps. And when it comes to religion, this stands out. A lone Norwegian Viking, cut off from the rest of the world. It's a sad story. Finland, also part of Scandinavia, ruled by Hämäläinen, Finnish Catholic imbecile. Oh well, slow, not an imbecile. They are Finnish and Catholic, recently converted to Catholicism even. They still have some Suomenusco left to convert in EU4, and the Lapps moved here to Kola. We left off last game in Russia here, so this should be familiar to most of you. The Teutonic Order and Rus and Lithuania are the power players in the Near East, and further along the line here is the Ilkhanate, Bulgar, and Kartli and Armenia. Lithuania is still ruled by the Kriviches, so that's a success story. Their current king is celibate. Depressed, stressed, celibate, and ugly. Poor guy, seriously. He does have a wife, though. So he must have gotten celibacy after he married. And they have been on the decline and on the rise and on the decline and on the rise. But they have reached a massive size lately. As you can see, they are Russian. With pockets of Estonian and Prussian around. Entirely Catholic. Russia here, everyone should be familiar with them, ruled by the Mesheravids, who are Nestorian Mordvins. So, ironically, Russia is not Russian, they are Mordvin. The Ilkhanate here, ruled by the Tuluids, are the other major Nestorian nation, since the Great Reunion, the counter-schism. Not much to say, they have been Russian but converted to, well, switched culture to Mordvinism. Or to Mordvin. I'm mixing cultures and religions here. I'm talking about culture. The Bulgars, just a tribe on the decline, being ravaged by us. Ruled by the Ossaids. Kartli and Armenia are splinter states from Byzantium. Byzantium had some kind of weird civil war where everything just went independent. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, Kartli, ruled by a Greek Catholic of Kyzikos, Armenia, ruled by another of Kyzikos. Kind of cool. So they are family here. And they are being invaded by the Timurids, but the Timurids will never have time to invade them fully. So this war will have been ended in EU4. Makes for a more interesting game anyway, in my opinion. So, let's start from Spain here, and then we'll go through Central Europe like this. Spain, and a very interesting place. It has been de jure shifted into Portugal, thanks to us, and it's almost entirely Welsh, as you can see. Though Aragon is actually ruled by a Frankish lady, Queen Pernelle. And as there are no dominant culture here, it's Welsh, Catalan, Castilian, Berber and Frankish. I will just leave it as Frankish. Galicia, ironically ruled by Portuguese people. Castile, ruled by Welsh people. Portugal is also ruled by a Welshman. The Morganvg Castile is ruled by De Beza, and Portugal is ruled by De Beza. The Knights of Santiago also have a presence here. They are currently Castilian. This is just an elective monarchy war going on here. And I believe that they have the lowest form of crown authority, because when I did a test conversion earlier, I noticed that they got lots of vassals. So that's kind of interesting. Aquitaine, a heavily contested area. It is once again Occitane, even though it was Castilian and under the rule of the Knights of Santiago, I believe, for the longest of times. The Holy Roman Empire have made incursions here. England as well, thanks to us. And Brittany is a regional power. But Aquitaine has been ruled by Muslims and holy orders before they finally reverted to their own kingdom. France, another nation that has had ups and downs. Ruled by the D. Albenga. Oh, I forgot to look at the dynasty ruling Aquitaine. It's De Barabano, or Barbarano even. Let's see if the Taillefer's are still around somewhere. We already saw where the Glasdenning family were. They are now ruling Wales. But we do not know where the Taillefer's are, so let's see. Let's find T. See T. Should be high up. Here's the Timurids. Let's see. Are they not around anymore? Tahirid, not Taillefer. No, it seems like they are actually gone. Can't see them here. At least, yeah, they must be gone. Every single one of them are dead. What a sad story. The first dynasty, completely eradicated. It's a sad day, but it was expected. A few dynasties must perish for the rest to thrive. Holy Roman Empire. Holy shit, it actually formed. First time, I believe. Ruled by the Van Deventer. They are Dutch guys. Man, Britain is heir to the empire. Well, that's not going to come to pass. So anyway, they formed from Frisia and have converted almost every province here to Dutch. So yeah, that's awesome. And let's take a look at the direct vassals here, so you get an idea of how the mock-up of the empire will look. The kingdoms will be complete. They will have the borders you see here. So Lotharingia and Frisia will dominate, while the other ones will be minors of no consequence. There will be an Austria, that's kind of fun. And here we have... Actually, here we have the Company of the Hat, with a very, very, very pleasing to the eyes shape. They look like Switzerland, but slightly displaced. Still ruled by... No, actually, Frankish dudes. This is one of the nations I am most certainly going to manually edit the culture of. They are probably going to be the only German nation, except for the Teutonic Order. But they are still around, and they are still going strong. There's also a one province guy here. Not worth mentioning. So, the Great Karlsland here have been absolutely decimated, it appears. They are fighting several wars, and Greater Poland here has declared independence. Still ruled by an of Karlstein. Bohemia also ruled by an of Karlstein. Might see a union there. Still, real mess. Real mess. They were not the great nations, I remember. They have declined into nothingness. The cultural mock-up looks like this. Mainly Bohemian, few pockets of Polish. But Polish is basically gone, in favor of Bohemian. Hungary. This is also a guy I changed the culture of, because he, for some reason he was, I don't remember, Czech, I think. Yeah. And I don't want Hungary to be Czech in EU4, so I switch his culture, but just so you know. Anyway, he's an Akalshik, obviously an old house from the steppes. And as you saw, mainly Hungarian, no direct religious deviations here, nothing special. But they have expanded. This wasn't part of Hungary before. I believe they inherited some stuff. And let's go down and finally take a look at the Byzantine Empire. I'm actually not sure what has happened here myself. They are fighting a few wars here, so not all of what you see is independent, but some of it is. I believe Bulgaria is independent. Yes, they are. Still ruled by the Macedones. But they are a Gavelkind now, so they left seniority in favor of Gavelkind. That explains why this lady rules it. Yes. Not much else to see here. The cultural mock-up is entirely Greek. There's nothing that's not Greek. And here we have the clusterfuck of the century. I'm not kidding. But I believe most of these are just... No, like Jazeera here, for example. They are independent. Antioch, I'm not sure if they are independent or not. Yeah, anyway. The Timurids. They are currently Turkish, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them Turkish. I might, and I may not. All depends. May turn them into Persian, but still, probably not. Probably not. They'll probably stay Turkish. I'll see what I do later. Ruled by a great leader, anyway. They have invaded the entirety of Persia and smashed the Sunni Caliphate to almost nothing by invading Mesopotamia over and over again. And the Middle East, where we have a few independent sultanates, like the Hafsids here. Used to be the Abbasids, I believe. Currently fighting the Holy Orders. Scotland has a random province there, I didn't even notice. That's really, really ugly. Anyway, the Ubayyids, the ever-present Sunni Caliphate, now declining rapidly since the Timurids arrived. They have fought countless wars with Byzantium, and Byzantium would probably have conquered a lot more if they didn't have this weird split, where everyone declared independence in Byzantium. We do have some independent nations down here, I believe, yeah. So the Hafizids have this, and the Shuhaids are free. And we have some free nations here as well. The Muradids and Abyssinia ruled by the Obokids, etc. Egypt is free. Though they are, yeah, they are actually Egyptian. First time I've ever seen Egyptian Egypt. This is the cultural mock-up of the rest, and the religious mock-up looks like this. There's still some Zoroastrians here, by the way, and Mastakis and Hurufis and all that fun stuff. Africa. I believe they are Egyptian as well. Yes, they are. This used to be the Shia Caliphate for the longest of times, but that's changed now. Very powerful, controls most of North Africa. This is the Sunni Caliphate, along with this. Lots of small kingdoms here. The Galarosids, we remember them from playing the Konare dynasty. We fought them from time to time. And here we have Mali, still Shia, and still the Konare dynasty. I am actually impressed by that fact. I thought they would perish immediately. So, there is a Shia nation, actually two, if you count the Timurids, that will be present in EU4. So, let's take a look at all of the dynasties, if there's one I've forgotten that we have played as. We have the Tailefers, we looked for them, they were gone. The Kriviches are here in Russia. Blake, now counts in Bavaria. The Offkarlsteins are still fighting. The Macedones are ruling Bulgaria. The Glastonings are in Wales. The Offkrichtons rule Somerset. Ooh, Sudit. I do not believe there is any Sudits left. But let's take a look. They should be somewhere. That's not right. No, I believe that they are lost to history. Because we did ravage the lands up here quite badly when we played as Perm. When we played as Russia. We didn't even play any role in the downfall of Perm at all. They were destroyed by rebels when we were playing other nations and dynasties. The Delavore dynasty. Almost forgot about that one. Are they ruling Lotharingia? No. There's a Dutch guy named King Floris van Kaufbjoren. I wonder if the Delavore are still around. Let's see. Let's start from man. Ah, there we go. The Lavores. Oh, they seem to be everywhere. They have all kinds of cultures. Norwegian, Frankish, Dutch. Here's a bishop. He's Frankish. A Norwegian Duke of Orkney. Counts of Bar and Amiens. The Duke of Orleans. Man. Well, they are still around. That's for sure. And then the Konari dynasty is down here. The Mesherovids are here. So, that's the dynasties we played as in this playthrough. Not a lot of them. Not at all like Alea Iacta Est. But all of them played a major role in the history of the world. So, to end this video, I want to go through some of the changes I'll be doing. Or the way I'll work when I do the changes. So I already explained why I changed the cultures of certain countries. Because the nations will turn out wonky in EU4 otherwise. And some other things I'll do is, wherever you see one of these exclaves, like this one for England, I'll first take a look and see, who controls this? This is English and Thuringian, I believe. Actually, let's see. That's probably where they are, yes. So what I'm going to do is to look at exclaves, make a judgment, and then split them off as a vassal to the main country. Why do I want to do that? Simply because otherwise the borders will be very messy and they most likely will not ever, even themselves out. I remember in Alea Iacta Est, France were here, but they had two provinces here, far away across the entire continent. They never lost them. No one else had claims. They could never release them as a vassal or anything they like. So what I'm going to do is try to split off all exclaves as vassals of the mother country. In that way means that they can be released, they can revolt, they can be force released in wars, etc. And the AI in EU4 will not annex vassals that do not border them, which I find excellent. Otherwise the border gore would return quickly. I'll probably do something with the Teutonic Order, because they are so split. I might split these up into vassals, have the Teutonic Order based here, have these two as vassals of the Teutonic Order, and maybe give this to the Knights Hospitaller, all of their holdings here. And the Scottish holdings will probably go to the Knights Hospitaller as well. I'll probably clean up stuff like Galicia here, this province, and this here as well. Will probably go to Aquitaine. And when it comes to Holy Rome, I'll take a hard look at what this actually is, and then either give them to Aquitaine or release them as tiny exclave vassals. But most likely I'll just move them over to another nation And if Aquitaine had something to give, I would probably give it to the Holy Roman Emperor. For example, money. If they have loads of money, I'll probably move some of their cash to the Holy Romans and pretend that they bought it. These will most likely be split off as vassals as well, because the Ubaidids are very far away. Though the Salamids here, controlling Mauritania and Africa, are... I think that's okay. That's close enough. England will lose this. Holy Rome will probably lose this as well, because this just looks weird. This as well. Actually, not this. Because it's close, and it's not landlocked. This makes sense. This does not make sense. You see where I'm going with this. In the Byzantine Empire, I will probably split off like this as a vassal. I might split this off. And Bulgaria, as you can see, is split off everywhere, and this will be their mainland, and the rest will be released as vassals. Without a doubt. And I believe that's most of the changes. I'll probably do a few more. Like, I might change the culture of some nations here, if it makes sense for me to do so. Also, there are more nations than Portugal that starts with low crown authority, but right now I cannot remember which ones. They will still keep... Yeah, Denmark. Denmark is the one with low crown authority. So Denmark will have loads of vassals here. And it will look kind of neat, to be honest. You will see when the first episode comes out. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to this last Interregnum report of King of Many Nations. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, please write them in the comments, because I have this save left, and I will keep it intact in case I need to look something up for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon again.